Ottawa is limiting the movement of young oysters in Atlantic Canada and Quebec to control the spread of two diseases known as MSX and dermo. They can devastate oyster populations, but they are not harmful to humans. Jeff Bishop of the Aquaculture Association of Nova Scotia with us now. Mr. Bishop, what do you make of these restrictions with the young oysters?
Thanks for having us on, Tom, to talk about this. It's a change that we've been watching as the progression of the MSX and dermo diseases are impacting oysters in the region. We're keeping a close eye on the patchwork system of closures and requirements for movement certificates, and so this actually brings a bit of clarity to those kinds of processes for oyster farmers in the region.
And I guess by its very nature, the assumption is that those two diseases you mentioned, MSX and dermo, are in our waters. But I'm curious, from your association's point of view, how prevalent are they in Nova Scotia?
We've been fortunate, knock on wood. We've had dermo positive tests in two locations in Nova Scotia. We've had MSX actually in the Bredor Lakes in Cape Breton for over 20 years. We've been fortunate that it hasn't spread to elsewhere within the province. And so we're hopeful that even though these changes in the regulatory requirements for movements and everything, our industry is going to continue to practice the best practices for biosecurity and movement of both young oysters and gear to limit the potential spread if it's in the waters here in Nova Scotia at all.
Yeah, we should point out as well that the diseases are not harmful for humans. So the sale of those mature restaurants to things like restaurants still happening. But what can you say about the impact, the overall impact all of this has been having on the industry here in this province?
Right. It's been just over a year of a lot of uncertainty. As I say, as the positive finds were coming in Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick and eventually in Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, it was hard to keep track of exactly what the requirements for movements if you were still outside of a zone or suddenly inside of one, and keeping up with those requirements was an extra layer for our growers in the region, and working with our partners at both provincial levels and federal levels to make sure things were kept up with. And so this really streamlines things for folks to be able to rely on the systems that have been in place before, but treating it as one region. Still requirements for permitting for movement of especially young oysters, as you say, seed or spat, as we refer to it as within the region. And so those regulatory requirements are still in place, but it is making it a little bit easier to understand by treating it as one big zone.
Yeah, so you can move the younger oysters, the seed or the spat, as you say there, within the region. But if the idea is to try and stamp out this disease, how concerned are your members about finding clean seed to keep the operations going?
Yeah, that's absolutely a concern. Historically, someone may have purchased their seed or spat from an area that is currently MSX or dermo positive, and so they may be looking elsewhere to figure out are there other, for example, an oyster farmer in an area of Nova Scotia where doesn't appear to be the disease as prevalent in the waters, and so they may choose to look to other areas, new sources to find those that seed and spat. And discussions that we're having with both our federal and provincial partners also to look at the possibilities of hatchery systems, which would raise the seed or spat in a neutral environment that would be free of MSX or other diseases as well, and provide those into the oyster industry.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some of these farmers too who must be looking at the risk involved in this. In fact, I've talked to some who say they're beginning to wonder whether they should be getting out of the industry because of mortality of the younger oysters and the investment they have to make up front to try and keep their operations going.
Absolutely. It's and the part that makes it really difficult in measuring that risk is the unknown of the impact. You may have MSX, as you say, at a low prevalence rate in the waters where you're growing oysters, and so the oysters may not be impacted, may not have any more abnormal levels of mortality or deaths than we would see on a natural year, based on all kinds of things like weather or water temperatures or those kinds of things. And so it's hard to judge. Are things going to be okay on our farm or not? So it does make that risk calculation that much more difficult.
We'll watch to see how it all does play out. Jeff Bishop, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.